Welcome to Mission Majjhima, Ajahn.
Ajahn.
So tell us about Mission Majjhima.
So Mission Majjhima is an in-depth study of the Majjhima Nikaya. That is the middle-length discourses of the Buddha. And that's this second volume of the Sutta Pitaka of the Pali Canon. It comes after the long discourses, which are longer than the middle length. It comes before the Samyutta Nikaya, which is the connected discourses on different subjects, and the Anguttara Nikaya on numerical ordering. So this is the classic brown translation by Bhikkhu Nyanamoli and Bhikkhu Bodhi by Wisdom Publications, and largely we'll be referring to and quoting from that edition, but people are welcome to read any edition. And why we talk about people is why we talk about a mission. So why it's a mission is because what we'll do is attempt to, with all of you, with anyone who wants to come along and join the party, is to read the whole Majjhima Nikaya. And you and I will be releasing a new video talking about each subsequent sutta starting next week, where we go into the Mula Pariyaya Sutta, the root of all things, the first discourse, and we'll give next week and all subsequent weeks attempt to give a 9-minute Majjhima summary and short conversation where you and I draw out our own highlights and favorite parts of the sutta. And we'll do that for 152 weeks because the Majjhima Nikaya is 152 discourses long, and we'll do one a week. And so that's about 3 years. So a bit of a commitment. If you join anytime, we'll have all the videos on in a playlist. So if you join late, no worries. You can just start where you are, and it'll just encourage everybody to come along. It's a great collection.
And what happens after the YouTube video?
Great question. So after the YouTube video, we will go to Zoom. So we'll release the videos at 5:00 p.m. every Sunday, and then after that, we'll have a link on our website and a link in these YouTube videos to the Zoom room, and that's where people can go to have more conversation, to actually interact with one another. And the way this will be most potent for everybody is if people read. And when you read, you'll bring your own perspective, and I always find it fascinating how people bring different perspectives to the suttas, and this is my general idea around my feeling of why sutta study is important. Especially in a group setting, you get to learn different aspects. Almost always when I discuss a sutta in a group setting, people bring out other things that I hadn't noticed. And one general reason for studying the suttas in general is this quote from the Dvaita Vitakka, the Two Kinds of Thought Sutta, Majjhima number 19, where the Buddha says, whatever one thinks and ponders upon, that will become the inclination of one's mind. So that's a good thing to do. If you realize that what you think and read and take in and consume has an effect on the mind, then you want to be taking in good things. And this is, the Buddha's words. So
One of the best things.
One of the best things. So what's your relationship with the Majjhima Nikaya? Why do you feel it's a worthwhile project that we're starting upon?
It was one of the first, it was perhaps the first collection which I read, and I think which most people have explored, and where the Samyutta, the connected discourses, or the Anguttara, the numerical, they're filled with these wonderful teachings from the Buddha. The Majjhima Nikaya features the widest array of contexts and stories. You have the Buddha speaking with monks, with nuns, with lay men, lay women, with gods. And there's a drama to these different scenarios and storylines that play out that really have an emotional impact and give context. You have the Angulimala Sutta about the Buddha helping redeem Angulimala, this famous or infamous murderer. You have the Ratapala Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 82, where a young man goes forth when his parents refuse to allow him to go forth. He basically fasts until they let him. You have these pretty amazing flashes of these moments from the Buddha's time, which make this not just an intellectual exercise at all, but something deeply affecting in the heart. So I always come back to this collection, and I love it. I love that we're taking this much time with it. What about you, John? What has the Majjhima Nikaya meant to you, or are there any particular discourses that sort of have resonated over the years?
Yeah, actually, one thing I love about the Majjhima Nikaya is that it has all the colorful stories, like you're talking about, which I love. They give context. They paint a bigger picture. The Buddha was a human, in these suttas. But actually, my first introduction to suttas was through the Satipatthana Sutta, which is Majjhima Nikaya number 10, the Foundations of Mindfulness. And yeah, basically, you've got arguably the three most meditation-specific discourses in the whole Pali Canon within the Majjhima Nikaya. You've got the Satipatthana Sutta, the Foundations of Mindfulness, Majjhima number 10. You've got the Anapanasati Sutta, Majjhima number 18. That's the discourse on mindfulness of breathing. And you've got the Kayagata Sati Sutta, Majjhima number 119, about mindfulness of the body. And really, for myself, and I think for many people, that's our introduction to Buddhism. We weren't born Buddhist, many of us, but we come to the discourses because we've come to meditation, and we see that the meditation has fruit and benefit in our lives. And then when we read the suttas, we get more context and realize why we're meditating and maybe how to meditate more. In the Anapanasati Sutta, we have 16 steps that the Buddha lays out. So that's just, a few thoughts. I mean, the Majjhima is so deep. Yeah. And for yourself, are there any particular suttas that you might be able to pull out as being specifically resonant, or ones which you've come back to again and again?
Yeah, the ones that really, before I kind of answer that, I think what you spoke about with how these teachings kind of can resonate, and they're ones you keep coming back to, it's really true. And I love that we're taking the time to discuss and stop and really, dive into these together, because there's phrases you read the first time and you don't realize the depth. There's one phrase that has been resonating and echoing through my life ever since I read it again and again, and it's one becomes sensitive to the pleasure of being blameless. And just some of these teachings, until you've kind of held them in your hand, and that these gems, and you just have to let them collect light, and then you really understand what a treasure they are. And as to the suttas that have, I really have appreciated, there's just these hidden gems, to put it like, to use that terminology again. There's Majjhima Nikaya 28, the elephant's footprint, where you see Venerable Sariputta, how each teaching's a hologram, and hidden in each teaching are all the other teachings. He talks about suffering as the 5 khandhas, then he zooms in on the form khandha, and then he draws that out into earth and equanimity and loving kindness, and it's this profound movement through the whole strata of teaching. So I'm really excited. This is one of the projects I've been most excited for us to do together.
To say one thing, so we'll have a number of features that we have in each of these videos. So we will give a summary, we'll have a little bit of back and forth question, and then we'll have a particular quote that's meaningful to one of us or both of us, and then we'll also have a Pali word of the day or week. And I look forward to doing this with you, and look forward to connecting with everybody who's able to make it.